going on, guys? Welcome back to the Scores Table. Sorry for the cozy posture. I'm fried from basketball, but today we are going to do a tiers list of the last 10 number one overall picks. If they're A, great, F, or terrible.
Close enough. S, A, B, C, D, and then the F tier. Hopefully that no one gets that, but unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we will get to that. Without further ado, we're gonna time travel back to 2015. Number one overall pick was Carl Anthony Towns. Yusuf, I'll kick it to you.
Um, Carlton Towns supposed to be a generational prospect. I really would have to put Cat in the A tier. I think he just never hit that level I expected. I mean, 25 points a game, 10 rebounds. You can't really almost not put that in S tier. But I think there's like three or four guys I think they're like true franchise turners. So I think A for Cat is solid.
Yeah, I'll also put him at A. Uh, really great player, great talent, did amazing things in Minnesota. Multiple All Star games. Really can't really take a knock at that. So yeah, Cat at A, solid for me.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. It's just I think kind of what you said at first, Yusuf. I kind of thought he would be an S tier type player. Um, Hasn't turned out that way, unfortunately, but he's been really good. I mean, you can't argue with a multiple time All Star that's putting over 25 a game. I know we kind of argue that he's soft, but that doesn't make him not good. So yeah, I think the A tier is perfect for him. A little more controversial though. We'll move on to the 2016 number one overall pick. Got Ben Simmons.
Talent wise and like the level he was early, I definitely think that's like B to A tier. Especially he choked out Cat as well, so I think that ranks him a little bit higher. But honestly, I really want to go to C tier because of the fall off. I think the lack of like care for his game, like never developed a jump shot, like the scared to go up on Trey Young. I think the softness, the lack of like development, because I think he already had like the running a team, running an offense, great defender. I think he already had that. It's just like the development on the back end. He just never flourished.
I said I was gonna put him at B tier. I think I might put him at C. But that being said, like his height, like him and his height was amazing. Like very crafty player too, not just like athletically gifted. Plays into the fact that he was that great without a jump shot. Biggest knockback for me is just like yeah, no finals out of him, no nothing like drawback for me. So C, keeping him from that B.
Yeah, I'm with you. You used the word crafty. I think that's a good word to use for him actually, because he was very manipulative with the ball, especially for someone that was his size. I really wanted to put him in the B tier. We probably would all put him at least that high if basically since that last year in Philadelphia. You kind of mentioned Yusuf when his career kind of turned that moment against Trey Young and Rivers and Embiid scapegoated him. And I don't know if he's actually hurt or he just doesn't give a shit, but he's not good anymore. So
No, I
so
agree.
I think C is fair as well. We'll move on to a future teammate of his, the first pick of the 2017 draft, Markel Fultz.
There's better players on the board. And honestly, a lot of people like knew who Fultz was coming out of Washington. I honestly didn't know who Fultz was. I think I watched was that Tate? That's Tatum and
It's Tatum, that's
Lonzo.
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, I knew more
Mm-hmm.
about Lonzo and Tatum coming into that year, and I was very high on Tatum. I thought he probably should have went. So to see Fultz go one, I have to go D tier because like where Simmons' height was and like just the regressing like in the last few years put him at C. But I never saw Fultz hit that potential that anybody ever thought he was gonna be. Or
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go a little lower. I'm gonna go F. No, zero malice in this. Like a head case, like going to Orlando. I'll say this: I'm going on Golden Hoops. I'm not seeing any Markel Fultz like mixtape highlight. No, nothing like. So I can't even go off that. So like no success, no memorable moments aside from low lights of his. So I'm gonna go F.
Yeah, I hate to agree with Trey, but I have to. And I was the Markel Fultz guy when he got drafted. I liked his game in college. I mean, the number one pick might have been a stretch, but I still thought he'd be a good player, even if guys like Tatum and Mitchell and those guys would outplay him. I would have put him in the D tier, but the reason why I'm going to keep him in F is because with all the guards Orlando has on their team between Cole Anthony and Anthony Black and Jalen Suggs, they have so many guards on the team right now, and they still found a way to not keep him. So, like, how bad is he really at this point? You know what I mean? I don't know if that motorcycle thing is true because his jump shot is not the same jump shot he had in college. I've watched both tape. That I don't know what happened. It's just an F. I'm sorry, and I like the guy, and it sucks, but it's the F tier. Anywho, we'll move on to the 2018 NBA draft. First pick of that draft was my guy DeAndre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns.
I'm at Aiton. I'm gonna go B tier. Think B tier. Not much to say. You want more. He doesn't give it to you, but he's still on that same level of player he's always been. So I think.
I'm gonna go B tier too. I said I was gonna swap him and Simmons because I had Simmons at B originally, but I think the reason why I'm gonna put Ayton over him is not because of his play, but the fact that he was on that finals team. So at least you did something. So you're a B for me.
I was actually leaning towards the C tier. The reason I was is because of who got drafted after him. If Luka wasn't drafted after Ayton, then B would probably be more fitting. We can put him in the B tier. That's fine. And in that finals run, he even had a buzzer beater dunk in that run. He was a big part of that team. And unfortunately, if Monty Williams would have let the team put the wall against Giannis, he'd probably be a champion too. But I'm fine with B. He has the talent at least, and he'll probably get back to that level. All right, moving on to the 2019 NBA draft. Not a controversial number one pick, but maybe a controversial career. Zion Williamson.
Loved him in high school. Loved college. I mean, I'm a Carolina fan. I love what he did at Duke. I think he's a high B tier. Like, there's a tier between B and A. I'd put him right there. Yeah, the stats are good. Field goal percentage is good. He's just never on the court, and I can't bump him to where Cat is when Cat's always there for his team. He's normally always on the court and putting up the same numbers or better, and Cat shoots a 40% clip from three. So I had to put Zion at a very high B tier.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do the same. I got Zion at B, for the exact same reason too. Like never there, so really hard to really give any criteria, like have any criteria to base that off of. But when he is on there, I mean, he's displayed his dominance, like against guys like Giannis, against really formidable opponents in the NBA. So can't really knock that. I mean, he's also had his off-court issues as well. So, but still young. He's still a young guy. He's still got a lot of career to go.
I won't fight you guys too hard, but I was actually thinking A still, and I felt like I was being harsh on him still because I think that like obviously he hasn't had the success of the playoffs because he just hasn't been there, so it's hard to have that. But the talent is just so immense. It's just weird to put him on the same tier as Ayton. I can kind of get behind the idea that maybe he's just like a better version of a B. He'd be like a B plus to like a B minus rating or something like that. So I can get behind that at the end of the day, but it's just like, God, he should just be an A, man. Like, at the very least, how the hell is he not in the A tier? And the fact that we can even have this debate and you're not wrong for putting him in the B tier is the problem with history. You know, like,
Yeah.
so fucking good. It just, he doesn't play in the games. Can we agree for now to drop Ayton to C and put Zion at B? If you want to keep Ayton at B as well, then we'll just all acknowledge that Zion's a higher version of a B. Is that fair?
That's fine. I'll put
Yeah,
him in
B
front.
plus.
All right, so yeah, I put Zion ahead of Ayton on my tiers list,
Yeah.
just so I know that. Moving on to the 2020 NBA draft. Now, this one was a controversial pick, but I think that we're probably all going to put him in the same echelon. Ant-Man, who doesn't love this guy at this point? Yusuf, go ahead.
S tier.
Yeah. There's nothing else to say. S tier, arguably my favorite player in the league now. KD's still my number one, but Ant's following right behind it. S tier, franchise player. Like, he gives you that old KG feel in Minnesota. Like, he's like gonna lead them to something.
Shoes are dope. Game is better. S tier.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just going to say about him, I think the only reason that we have Towns in A right now is because of Ant-Man. He helped that team get to another level, you know what I mean? I think we'd probably all have Towns in B, if not for this most recent playoff run. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And it's funny because at the time, Towns was supposed to be the guy that takes Minnesota over the top. And when Ant-Man got drafted, it was a debate. Was that LaMelo? Yeah, it was LaMelo. Like,
Oh, and Wiseman too.
yeah.
Was getting a lot of that. Yeah.
it was controversial. Like, people did not know how this would pan out. He had the interview where he was saying he didn't even like basketball like that. He didn't watch it or something like that. Easy S tier at this point, man. Like, I like the old heads love him, the young guys love him. Like, who doesn't like this guy at this point? He's just a good basketball player, and he's got the energy that you would want for a franchise going forward. All right, the 2021 NBA draft, the first pick was Cade Cunningham.
Okay, Cade Cunningham. I think he still has all the intangibles to be an A or S level player. Franchise is horrible. It's been horrible for a while. His stats always look good. He didn't miss 1 year. I have Cade in B tier. I think he's kind of reminds me where Ayton is, honestly. I want you to be more of a leader, lead the team, be the best player, which I think he is and is getting to. Franchise is horrible. A lot of coaching changes, so I think B tier.
I'm gonna put him at C tier but the sky's the limit for him. Like, however it pans out in Detroit, hopefully your contract ends and you go somewhere else where you can actually like grow. But I think like you can definitely see talent when he plays. So I think for now it's just unfortunate that he's stuck in the situation he's in. So C, but like I said, the sky's the limit.
Leaning B myself, but I kind of want to penalize him for the same reason we penalize Zion. Like the talent would have him as a B, but like he's always hurt too. They sure as hell haven't done anything in the playoffs. I think I'm gonna have to put him in the C tier as well. If you're willing to fight for B really hard, Yusuf, I can consider it. But I know he has more talent than Aiton, but it feels like Aiton has earned the right to be in the B tier because of the success he had in Phoenix.
I don't want to fight for him at B tier. I'm fine putting him in C because I'm probably about to fight for the next guy in a higher tier. So
Yeah.
I'm certainly fine leaving him in C.
Okay.
That's not even wasted energy on this one.
Sounds good. This might be a battle. I don't know, but we'll go into it. 2022, first overall pick, Paolo Banchero. Yusuf, go ahead.
All right, this was a tough draft night. No one knew who they were going to take and where. I have Paolo in S tier, franchise player. Again, I think he has what you want. Looking forward, shoot, he even got he got the Orlando into the playoffs last year. Was that second year in the league? I know he's hurt right now and just got hurt, but he'll be back. I think S tier player. I think he's going to be a perennial All Star going forward. Probably, if he stays in Orlando, hopefully some playoff runs, or he does a Shaq and just leaves. But
I'm also cool with the S tier. I think he's like, barring this injury that he just picked up, I think he was like literally making that leap. Like we were witnessing that leap. You watch his game; he literally has played like a pro since like day one. You're Duke Blue Devils, so that's a plus. Yeah, I got him at S too. I'm not gonna hit you on that one.
Yeah, it's funny. You both kind of convinced me. I was thinking the A tier, but I think Trey, you just said something right there. He was in the midst of that leap right just now, and that sucks. But like, I think sometimes I'm just kind of hesitant to like. It's just been way too fast for a guy to be this good.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, is he going to be that good? But it looks like he will be. I think the S tier is a good place. Though. I think that you're right that he was on that trajectory and made the playoffs, made the All-Star team very young. It's just I'm penalizing because I don't watch Orlando. That's what's happening.
That's fair.
But S tier's fine. 2023 NBA draft. I'm assuming we're not gonna have much debate about this. Victor Wembanyama. Can we just put him in the S tier?
Nah,
Yeah,
F
go
tier, bottom tier team. Like he can't even carry Chris Paul, man. I'm just kidding. S tier for Mr. Wembanyama. S tier for sure. I mean, it's not like what else do you want to say? Defensive anchor, can shoot the ball, really can handle the ball too, really can guard probably 2 through 5, maybe some ones. Like, yeah, S tier.
S minus because we all saw Jalen Green drop you. Don't think we forgot. We saw it clear as day. Should be an S though.
Yeah, it's an S tier for me as well. I mean, he's gonna if he doesn't impact the game, then fuck him because he made us all look stupid.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's clearly going to be that type of player that's going to be generational. So I'm gonna put him in the S tier as well. All right, so now we're getting to that point of we did this with Caleb Williams. It's kind of hard to rate this guy right now, which is weird. I used to be a draft head. I can barely pronounce this guy's name. Zachary Risache. Is that what it is? The number 1 pick of the Hawks?
That sounds right. Yeah.
If it's not, sorry. Okay. Best I can do.
Doesn't look great in his like early days here in the NBA. I think he's having an issue with like transitioning to the speed of the game because clearly in France everyone's slow as hell. Wimby looked fast in France. Let's be honest. He really looks like a spot up shooter. If anything, I'll go D tier for now because I don't know what's left. If he'll take a leap or he'll have a decent rookie year or he'll fall on his face like Fultz. So I'm gonna go D tier for now.
I think we're gonna go C because, I mean, really, what is his competition in this draft? To be honest, like this draft was very weak, except for Dalton Connect, and he's also like experiencing. He's just having growing pains. I think. Yeah, there is no projection for his career this early on. But given what he has shown in like the role he has right now, since DeAndre Hunter's hurt, I'm pretty sure, and he's just kind of assuming that role. We'll see. We'll see how much his numbers drop off when Hunter does come back, and I can be more comfortable giving him a solidified tier.
I think your point's interesting. I'm gonna somewhat use it against you though. I'm kind of with Yusuf. I was thinking the D tier. Like you're right. He didn't have a good draft against or like to compare himself with. But I think it's kind of the point. It's like even last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I get what you're getting at, yeah.
Yeah, like last year, we even still talked about Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson, and they might not. Miller looks like a good player, and Henderson looks like he'll be trash, but they were still on the radar. Like,
yeah.
to me, it was all about Alex Sard, and I didn't even really care that much about him as a prospect. He just kind of popped up to me like the week before the draft, and I was like, the hell? But that's kind of he's looked okay. I don't even want to say fine. Like he's not trash, but it's too hard to give him an F right now. But he certainly hasn't done enough for me to like put him on the same tier as like Cade. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
kind of like
get
I'm
him
gonna be
there. Put him down. Get him down.
All right, as I do at the end of these, looking at the tiers, I gotta say, might be one of our best ones yet.
I would agree. I think this is like one of the most like accurate, complete ones.
Padre fan on here, and we get a good one. What are we doing?
Boo,
Where's
boo
more of
all
my
po-
invite?
But no, in to complete what I said, I think this is one of the most solid ones we've had.
Risa Shea, drop 50. I want USC.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up this episode of Tiers. As always, like, subscribe, do all the things to help us grow the channel. Again, comment any players, any tier rankings, anything like that you'd like to see us do here on the channel. But without further ado, if you guys don't have anything, we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.